Looking at the situation, I got a sense of what happened. What is it? Is something wrong?
This isn't possible. How can there be a firewall preventing the system interference?
It seemed the fourth wall blocked not just the skills of an incarnation, but the Dokja's interference as well. If this was true, it meant nobody in Ways of Survival could see my attributes window, including myself. How interesting. It was the perfect condition to become a scammer. Forget about it.
Please wait, I can do it. What if I do this?
You can't do it.
Gah!
Bi-hyung screamed like he had received an electric shock. The white fluffy hair on his skin was burned black.
This!
It's okay if you can't do it, then stop. I'll ask for another favor.
This can't be. I'm Dokja Bi-hyung. If I can't solve the situation, the honor of the Dokja.
I looked at the clock. It had been an hour since the ichthyosaur ate. There was no time to waste like this. The Dokja bag. Bi-hyung stopped his useless action of digging at the air.
What?
Open the Dokja bag.
How do you know about that?
Are you gonna open it?
Only an incarnation with a sponsor can use the Dokja bag.
It's true that all incarnations that use the Dokja bag have a sponsor, but there's no reason that an incarnation without a sponsor can't use the Dokja bag.
Wait a minute.
Bi-hyung pulled out a manual and confirmed it.
At this point, I don't know if I'm the Dokja, or you are. Are you actually a Dokja?
The smiling Bi-hyung raised both hands.
Okay, there's no problem if you use it. However, the Dokja bag can only be used when the channel is open for streaming purposes. Is that okay?
It's fine. BI 7623 channel is open. The constellations have entered. Then an electric current appeared in the air, and a transparent screen emerged in front of me. Welcome to the coin shop. The Dokja bag. The Dokja bag. It was the moment when this damn world's cash store was opened. There were two ways to use coins in Ways of Survival. One of them was to raise the level of stats such as physique and strength. The other was to use it as a common form of currency that could be used in various stores, including the Dokja bag. Buy it now! A starter pack for your incarnation for 2,500 coins. A today-only special. A 300% growth package. Grow faster than the others. Did you accidentally pick an incarnation with a bad attitude? Don't worry. The random attribute box that can randomly change the attribute has been released. There were numerous coin items, including various packages. All the advertisements of the Dokja bag were aimed at the constellations raising incarnations. This was natural since the original customers of the Dokja bag were constellations. I got rid of the pop-up advertisement windows one by one. Although it was nothing compared to the disasters that emerged in the fifth main scenario, a Sea Commander ichthyosaur was no different from a disaster for the early incarnations. To defeat the ichthyosaur, I needed some items sold in the Dokja bag. Let's see. I looked at the catalog before glancing over at Bi-hyung. Hey, are these the only items I could buy right now? Is there a search function?
Wait. Constellations, please calm down.
For the moment the channel opened, Bi-hyung had been repeating explanations with comic-like sweat drops on his face.
It was just the server error that shut the broadcaster for all. I didn't turn off on purpose.
There were a total of 20 stars above Bi-hyung's head. Since not too many of them had left the channel, it seemed that quite a few constellations still wanted to see what happened to me. Of course, not all constellations were friendly. A few constellations are questioning the fairness of the broadcast. A few constellations are suspicious of the privileges you received. It wasn't unexpected. While the broadcast was off, a hidden scenario had started, and the Dokja bag had opened. It was no wonder that the constellations were surprised.
No, preferences. Look at this, constellations. I'm a Dokja. Don't you know that I'll be extinguished if I do that? Don't you know that the storyteller vow is never light?
Will you help me?
There's a product search button in the lower right corner.
Thank you. I ignored Bi-hyung and pressed the magnifying glass icon at the bottom of the package window. The product search function is activated. The product search function is limited to 5 times a day. Any additional searches will cost 100 coins per search. In any case, it was the same for humans and Dokja. The number of free searches given was 5. 2 searches were enough to buy the materials I needed. The Constellation's secret plotter is wondering about your plan. Yes, be curious. If you're curious, keep watching. The Constellation Abyssal Flak Flame Dragon is looking angrily at your actions. Don't watch if you're gonna get all twisted up. I open my mouth to use the search function. Search for the Ancient Dragon item. There are 3 search results. A small pop-up window soon emerged. Ancient Dragon's Heart. Stock. Unknown. Ancient Dragon Bone. Stock 1. Ancient Dragon Horn. Stock 1. I chose the Ancient Dragon's Heart. Item information. Ancient Dragon's Heart. Rating. SS. Description. Heart containing the magic power of Ancient Dragon Ignitus. It possesses near infinite magic power, and the attribute Hellfire will be acquired if a heart transplant is successful. Price. 1,500,000 coins. Stock. Just sold out. As expected, it was out of stock. From beyond the catalog, Bi-hyung, who was dealing with constellations, looked at me with his jaw dropped open.
Crazy. How did you know about the information about the Ancient Dragon?
I just called that a nice name.
It seems like a lie.
I shrugged. In the original Ways of Survival, the owner of the Ancient Dragon's Heart was already determined. If I remember correctly, the owner of their heart was currently in Italy. They were a person with good luck, getting such a diamond of a sponsor. I called out several more product names. The related product search is completed. Great Demon Eyes, stock 0. White Pure Star Energy, stock 1. The Great Demon Eyes were sold out. It seemed the hands of Constellations were really quick. Well, I couldn't buy the item anyway, since the selling price was 1 million coins. At any rate, it was good to have a sponsor. Now the incarnation with the Great Demon Eyes would grow and destroy the beginner scenarios.
What are you really? What type of cheat are you using? How do you know about only items that could be found in the search?
I just said plausible names. Among the 3 items that I searched for, only the White Pure Star Energy was in stock. Furthermore, the price was 10,000 coins, so I couldn't buy it now. I put it in the shopping cart for now.
What, are you buying it?
Not right now. I'm just window shopping.
Sheesh, what a waste of time.
I'm gonna buy something else, so bring up the items to call out from now on. I called out several item names. After a moment, a list of items emerged in front of me. Mucus of the Hammer Seahorse, stock 124. Stone Hog's Pointed Thorn, stock 17. I compared to the list of my memories. The Hammer Seahorse, which was the food of the ichthyosaur, and the Stone Hog, which was the nemesis of the sea species. There was no doubt. This combination was the best when it came to attacking ichthyosaur. 4 mucus, 4 horns. Is it 800 coins?
Yes, but what are you going to use with those miscellaneous items?
You don't need to know.
I don't want to be nosy, but why don't you buy something else? For example, this Woryong sword technique. It's originally only 8,000 coins, but I'll sell it now for 4,000. Wouldn't buying this be more helpful to clear the scenario?
Thank you, but I would buy just this. Byung wasn't satisfied, but received the payment anyway. 800 coins had been consumed. In the darkness, a sparkling powder emerged, and 4 elongated horns and 4 pockets of black mucus appeared.
I can't give you a refund if you regret it now. Do you understand?
I know. I nodded briefly and started working. I shook off my top, tied it around my waist, and stuck the horns in the gap between my top and my waist, while the pockets were still hung from my waist. The Stone Hog's thorn was stumpy, but became sharp at the end. It was approximately 1 meter in length. It was a reasonable size to pierce something.
Then I'll be going. I can't stay with you. There'll be something fun going on in another place.
Do it.
Hang in there. I hope the story will bless you.
Byung disappeared in a flash of light, and the surroundings became dark again. I could use the light from my smartphone, but I wanted to save the battery as much as possible. In the darkness, the Stone Hogthorn was emitting a bluish light. It was a feeble light, but it would be sufficient for the moment. I pulled out a thorn and swung it. Maybe it was because I didn't have a skill such as weapons training or incarnation of all soldiers, but I couldn't get used to wielding the thorn. A few constellations are bored. The impatient constellations left the channel. I couldn't see it, but Byung was probably fretting right now. Then an hour passed. Right, left, up, and down. I didn't like it, but I no longer had a problem handling the thorn. The surface finish was rough and didn't seem like it would slip easily from my hand. It was time to begin. I used the proper force and stabbed at the ichthyosaur wall above me. Ding! It was like poking a rubber elastic wall as the thorn bounced off. My current strength wasn't high enough to tear at the stomach of the ichthyosaur. It would probably be the same if I used the skill. At that moment, the small holes at the top of the stomach wall opened simultaneously. Then an absolutely disgusting liquid poured out. One of the demonic people floating on something in the stomach started shrieking. The demonic person's skin started burning. The digestion of the ichthyosaur had begun. The ichthyosaur's digested juices quickly mixed into the river water and started to melt away the concrete and other floating products. There was no time. However, it was going as planned. I jumped from the floating object and gripped a bump on the wall of the stomach. Then I started climbing up the wall like I was rock climbing. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. The outlet of the digestive juices was right above. I put the thorn in my mouth and grabbed a pocket of the Hammer Seahorse's mucus, pouring the mysterious dark blue liquid into my hand, and then I applied the mucus carefully onto the thorn, from the tip down to the end. I did it with precision and care, like applying shaving cream to an area to be shaved. If the shaving cream protected the skin from the razor, then the mucus protected the thorn from the digestive juices. Go. I swung the thorn toward where the digestive juices were coming from. The angle was correct, and I used my maximum strength. The digestive juices flowed down from the thorn and dissolved the skin of my forearm. I experienced a terrible pain, but I didn't stop. If I had made a mistake here, everything would be over. The exclusive skill Fourth Wall has relieved some of the pain. Before long, the thorn jammed up the emission point. Just one. After a deep sigh, I pulled out another thorn from my waist. I applied the mucus of the Hammer Seahorse onto another thorn, found an opening, and blocked it. A few constellations admire your calmness. The constellations have sponsored you 200 coins. There were some left, but the small openings didn't release large amounts of digestive fluids. There was one thorn left in the top tied tightly around me. All that was left was one thorn and 2 pockets of mucus. I used the remaining mucus on my skin and clothes, and then poured the remainder down my throat. The fishy taste on my tongue was sickening, but it was better than dying. The bitterness was nothing compared to the disaster that would occur starting from this moment. It was around 5 minutes afterward that the entire stomach started trembling. It started. The ichthyosaur let out a painful scream. The blood vessels on the wall of the stomach were squirming, and the thorns were visibly expanding into the blood vessels. The thorns in the opening had started their aggressive growth activity. This was because the stone hog thorns grew in response to the body fluids of the seawater species. The thorns, which had become immune to the dish fluids due to the applied mucus, absorbed the surrounding fluids and started to take root in the body of the ichthyosaur. The stone hog thorns wouldn't stop expanding until the ichthyosaur was completely dead. As I watched the liquid swirl around my feet, I grabbed a thorn tightly. I'd done everything I could. From now on, it was a mental fight. Either I would die or this guy would die. Only one of us would survive.